some milk.
Hey guys, so I am back for another video. I'm so happy to be here. For those that don't know, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 just dropped last Thursday. I honestly didn't think it was coming out so soon, and when I heard, I was on it, bruh. And if you're into the Modulo sequel series, that's also dropping on Thursday, so we're eating good. We're eating good if you're a fan of this series. So today, really quick, I just wanted to talk about interesting details that I've noticed in the first two episodes, and just a couple of things I'm looking forward to, and a couple of things that I'm thinking about as I'm watching the new season. So with that being said, I don't want to waste any of you guys' time. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I noticed is that if you guys don't remember from last season, Shibuya, it was terrible, right? Kenjaku at the last episode released all those cursed spirits into Tokyo, right where Sukuna released his domain expansion, and essentially flooded the entire city with cursed spirits. So more or less, Tokyo is in like an emergency state. Like everyone's gone or killed. The only people in Tokyo right now are cursed spirits and sorcerers like Yuji, Choso, etc. And one thing I noticed about that is that the Zenin clan, or like any really Jujutsu sorcerer organization for that matter, they don't really seem to mind or care about what's going on in Tokyo. Like, there's really not a mention of it, at least in the first two episodes, from really anybody in terms of like the outside world's perspective. And the only person that talks about Tokyo, or the outer realm of things, so to speak, is Naoya, and he really only talks about it because he's looking for Megami. Which brings me to that part of the video. The Zenin clan seems to not really care about anything that's going on. The only thing they seem to be caring about right now is keeping the Zenin clan on top and figuring out who's the new leader, especially after Toji's little pact that he made with Naobito way back when that nobody knew about. And to me, man, I just think that's really weird considering last season, when Nanami was still around, as soon as bro heard that Gojo was sealed, his immediate reaction was like, yo, we're all fucked, like GG, no re, like we're all done, like we gotta get out of here. Like that was his initial reaction, bruh. And it's like, now he is only concerned with like the Zenin clan lineage, and it's so interesting. It's really telling to like the story and what Gege is trying to tell us about the ideas and values of tradition, and how power consumes people. You know, like the higher ups, they're corrupted and they're consumed with fear, and that's why they have problems with a lot of the characters like Akari, Gojo, etc. Yuta eventually, because I'm assuming they're gonna find out more. They're gonna find out eventually that Yuji wasn't killed, which actually brings me to my next point, which Yuji dies again. This dude dies twice in this anime, bro. Like I've never heard of an MC dying like multiple times. Like not without it being like a gimmick in the story, but like this dude dies again. And to me, an interesting aspect of this scene was we get a small glimpse of Sukuna, and he's like clearly reacting to Yuji's death, and he like scoffs at himself, or he scoffs at the notion that Yuji is about to die. And I think that's like incredibly interesting, and I think it just builds so much aura for the character, and it makes him so much cooler in retrospect. I find it kind of like funny that Sukuna hates Yuji with a passion. He won't even say his name, but he also holds Yuji to a certain regard, and Sukuna is unwilling to acknowledge that. It's such an interesting idea for the character, such an interesting perspective that he has, because on one end, like it's cool, he's cool, I love him, we all love him for like his aura, or his like, you know, demeanor towards people and towards the world, um, which is another time for another video because I'd love to talk about that. But I think that it's also just a testament to the character's growth, and or lack thereof, and it's so interesting how he can't see that and how he doesn't want to, and it's really telling. You know, all of his little scenes and his little like interactions with Yuji, when violence isn't really a factor, it's actually like really interesting and really hysterical, or like real true violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he fought Yuji in his innate domain once, but it wasn't like a real fight where bro actually died. You know, so very interesting. One interesting part too about the first two episodes is that we get a glimpse at Yuji's parents, and I think it was really done well. I mean, it's exactly how it was in the manga, right? But I think what I just recognized about it just now from the anime is that this is coming from Yuji's conversation with Chozo, right? Yuji and Chozo were talking, and Chozo essentially says, "Hey, think back, remember, your father must have had stitches on his forehead." And I didn't realize why that scene was put there in that moment in the manga at the time when I was reading it. So it was really interesting to see that. It was very, very good, and it adds to the mystery of Kenjaku. It adds to the mystery of the character, and it really makes me wonder what the hell is going on to like Yuji's parents. Um, yeah, That's the only thing. That's all I'm gonna say on that because I know how controversial Yuji's parents are. So yeah, let's go. Let's go to the next one. We also get our first glimpse at Yuta Okotsu, the GOAT, the best white bread that you can ever have. People like to slime on him and make fun of him and stuff like that because he's boring and bland, white bread, like I just said. But I really honestly think that he's done very well, and you can't hate on him if he's done well. I think simplicity, when it's done well, can't really be hated on. You can not like that it's not complex, which is fine. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's so much more than that. I like that Yuta is the old protagonist and he kind of plays that role in the story. He's clearly a main character in the story, right? But he definitely isn't the main guy. But he gives you the vibe that he was or that he at some point can be. And I think his entire character is a really good mix of that. I've never seen, again, like a main character that's not a main character, but that's also the main character, and he acts like one, and he has the same storyline kind of like as one. Very traditional. But anyways, I think that was something that I thought that was super interesting about Yuta, is that I never realized how determined he must be to like be the next guy up after Gojo. In the first two episodes, you see Gojo visit Yuta in Africa while he's being trained by Miguel, which Gojo sent him to do. And Gojo is essentially asking, bro, like, hey man, like, shit's going down in Tokyo right now. Like, you might need to pull up and like protect my boy. Like, he's just like you for real, So maybe you can help the guy out. And I think that was I think obviously Yuta's gonna try to do his best, but that, and then in addition to that, at the end of Yuji and Yuta's conversation around the campfire, Yuji asked bro to kill Sukuna if something were to happen, which is something that is Gojo. That is a Gojo level ask right there, Yuji. I don't know why you. I mean, obviously Yuji felt like he could ask that of Yuta, but like, chill out. Like, what? Anyways, Yuta, like, I kind of understand why he's white bread or why he's bland and boring. I kind of feel like the character feels like he has to. A lot of people like to talk about him being fake humble, or like the conversation around his character is that he's humble or not, or I don't know the lore. Shout out Gambler. But yeah, to me, I think he truly is humble, but I think that his issue is that he is blessed beyond belief and tasked with the gargantuan, mission of protecting Yuji and killing Sukuna. Those are two great, super hard, difficult things that super important people in his life have expected him to do. And I kind of understand where the character goes and why he acts the way he does. It's because he has a lot riding on him. He knows that, and everyone around him is expecting that of him, and he knows he really doesn't have room to complain. He really doesn't have room to like move. He is next man up. He's second strongest, and he knows that. He's not like an Akari where, if he wanted to fuck around with, underground fights and stuff, he can do that. I feel like Yuta feels really not stuck. I don't want to use the word stuck. I feel like Yuta surrounded like a locked in period. When you're locked in, last week of finals, you're studying every second of every day, and you're not talking to nobody. So I kind of understand.
バカが
With that
そ
being
こに
said,
ある
that's
の
the
は
end of the video.
何の音だ
You know,
油断するな
the next episode coming out this Thursday, depending on when this video comes out. Hopefully, I missed.
殺
With that being said,
兄弟思い出
like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. I really think this show was amazing.
残念だったな
Great.
逃げ場がなくなったのは
And I think that it's
何が起こったのか理解していない。
simplistic.
結成石
You just want to watch lasers go boom fire. You can do that.
ガードしたものを除いて
In depth. He's also
残念
like
あのよう
the
で
hair Kakashi guy who can energy at people.
赤血操術
That being said,
赤血操術白露